An average player's guide to Overwatch Uprising. What is going on, guys? It's your favorite edgy 5-year-old, the Purple Man. Today I'm going to be showing my fellow average players how to get through the new Uprising event. Like every other Overwatch YouTuber, I'm going to be assuming that everyone watching this video is either under the age of 10 or has a life-threatening concussion preventing them from using their brains. Let's begin. The first thing you need to know about the Uprising event is that normal mode is for scrubs. However, if you accidentally find yourself in the queue, be careful. If you are forced to play Mercy, you're in for a bad time. Unless your teammates are mentally challenged Hanzo mains, they will never take any damage, making your role as a healer incredibly difficult. The hardest thing to survive in this stupid mode is the temptation to kill yourself as a healer boredom sets in. Luckily, on any other difficulty setting, you are far more likely to have fun. Now, one of the most important parts of this new event is locking any hero other than the healer as fast as possible. Some people may try to protest this by not choosing a hero. No problem. The easiest way to get these morons to shut up and heal you is to send them flaming messages over Xbox Live. Some important keywords to remember are KYS, Scrub Lord, Heathen, and your mother. Be sure to infer that they live in a foster home. If you follow this advice, then they are sure to select Mercy and heal you throughout the match. No problem. Before we learn the map, we must learn our opponents. The standard enemy that we will be fighting throughout I like to call the Gunner. I'm sure he has an official name, but I never have to call it out, so I don't care. These robots have low health and are easy for anyone to kill. Landing headshots will help bring these poor bots down even faster. To make these gunners even easier to kill, Blizzard has given them relatively weak damage, barely even noticeable, until you reach higher difficulties. While their individual damage is insignificant, it is worth noting that their damage can add up faster than the US's debt if their numbers are left unchecked. Luckily, the solution to this problem is simple. Kill them as they spawn. Good game. The big shielded oaf is what I like to call a fake Rhine, or to literally anyone else an eradicator. He is very good at being an annoying little fracker that will shield his robotic allies and make your day harder than winning a competitive game with the Hanzo main. The best way to counter eradicators is simple. You could execute a complicated strategy in which Rhine takes his attention and Tracer flanks around, damage boosted by Mercy for incredible damage on the crit spot on his back. Ha. What kind of scrub goes in with a plan? The real way to counter this bad boy is an incredibly heterosexual technique I like to call shooting him. Now, this may be a new concept for the Hanzo mains among us, but it is relatively easy to pull off. First, you line your cursor over their body, then you pull the trigger. Too easy. It is also important to note that when you shoot the crit on its back enough, his shield will drop. Tracer should be doing this almost all the time. Good luck explaining that to her. The next enemy on our hit list are the slicers. Now, the real trick to dealing with slicers is shooting them. They have very little health, and any of our core characters other than Mercy can burst them down with little to no trouble. Rhine's hammer in particular is excellent against slicers, as they always approach in groups, leaving Rhine's AoE attacks to sweep them up in a few deft blows. Silly Blizzard. You thought you could stop my incredible trigger holding skills. After slicers, we have detonators, or as I like to call them, purple balls. These things like to get up close to your payload and explode all over your face. The best way to take these out is to have Reinhardt charge them, extending the amount of time you have to deal with them. Once part of the purple armor is ripped off, a crit spot is created. Shoot the crit to finish it off quickly. As a quick note, any weapon that shoots the exposed core does the bonus damage. Even weapons that under ordinary circumstances are unable to crit, such as Rhine's hammer. Our next beloved enemy is one that we all know and want to be removed from Overwatch. That's right, Bastion. The best way for an average player to deal with Bastion on expert or above is to leave the game. However, if your escape key or pause button is broken, then you should focus fire these badders as soon as they spawn. Even on lower difficulties, the sheer damage these bastions put out is staggering. Whenever a bastion spawns, he is the #1 priority. Focus your fire and he should go down slightly faster than the London Bridge. For reference, the London Bridge took approximately 600 years to actually fall down. Let's finally start our mission. All you need to do is walk down the tunnel. Make sure to reach the 2 gunners in the subway first to deny your teammates the honor of the first kills. When capturing the first point, the easiest thing to do is have your Iron shield the left entrance while your tracer cleans up. Have your Torb set up on the point and watch the right entryway, with Mercy healing as needed. This wave is only gunners and should give you almost no trouble. As an important note, all hacking points go faster if everybody stands in the zone. Trust me. With the first point complete, make your way to the second point. In between these 2 points we find our first Eradicator. Luckily the only support this poor bot has are 1 or 2 gunners. Just have Rhine pin him, and with a little focus fire our first fake Rhine is down. For the next point have Rhine shield the choke point. Eradicators and gunners will spawn in front. Shoot them as they spawn. When Rhine's shield goes down, use this opportunity to get some AoE damage on the gunners. Rhine's hammer penetrates enemy shields. When this happens, Rhine is likely to take damage, helping charge Mercy's ult. This is important as Mercy always needs to be ready to res. Gunners will be spawning behind throughout, with 1 Eradicator. The best strategy is to shoot them. If your aim is true and your teammates do their jobs, then you should blaze through this section faster than I blaze through my welfare checks. Fantastic. As you move to the final capture point, there will be a big wave spawning in. As long as you kill them as they spawn, they should give you very little trouble. However, if your teammates can't seem to close a kill, then just sustain the fight and stay alive. Once you're in the church, have Torb set up in the back, past the stairs. This gives his turret full range over the battlefield, without being in the line of fire. Keep the majority of your attention on the entrance in the front, where Eradicators and gunners will be spawning en masse. At this stage, the average player will find success with Rhine swinging his hammer wildly in the hallway with a pocket Mercy. Torb and Tracer should do their best to hold off the entrances on the left and right. There are only gunners spawning on lower difficulties though, so like your hygiene issues, they shouldn't be a problem, unless they go unchecked. After this point, make your way to the objective. This is supposed to be a payload, but Overwatch hired Comcast customer support to build their stuff, so it is going to be another defense point for a ridiculously long period of time. Have Torb set up on the payload. This will give it the perfect position to kill any slicers that attack the objective. Enemies will be spawning on the left and right. Rhine has 3 big jobs in this section. First, he needs to use his shield to defend the payload and Torb's turret. Second, Rhine needs to charge any purple balls to stall their progress. Finally, Rhine should also try to charge any bastions on lower difficulties. This forces them out of their setup, and with a little focus fire, they can often be taken out before they can set up again. Tracer has a very simple job. Shoot things and stay alive. Torb has the easiest job. All Torb has to do is deal with the slicers, keep gunners away from the payload, collect scrap for armor packs, drop armor packs for everyone as often as possible, and finally make sure his turret is alive. As you can see, no skill required. Torb should generally save his molten core for either a bastion or purple ball spawn. Mercy's job is also pretty easy. Heal people. This shouldn't be a problem, as long as your Tracer knows how to blink, and your Rhine doesn't drop his shield every 4 seconds to chase slicers. And you're not on legendary. Because, let's be real, if you're on legendary you're screwed anyway. Mercy should try to save her res for at least 2 people, but if you don't see any other way out, a solo res is better than a failed mission. Now the real hard part of this section is the bastions. They spawn in with little warning, and if you're not paying attention, they will melt you faster than jet fuel can melt steel beams. It is at this point that staying coordinated is the most important thing. Hahaha. I'm just kidding. Team chat is for scrubs. You are a 360 no-scoper, and will never need the help of your teammates. The best way to kill the bastion is to run up to him alone and shoot him in the face. Excellent. Once the Overwatch payload finally starts doing its job, then you will start moving. Have Torb keep his turret on the payload for obvious reasons. In this section you will be faced with the works, tank bastions, slicers, gunners, eradicators, and purple balls. At this point the best strategy is to stay as a group. Ryan is still in charge of charging purple balls, but he no longer wants to charge the bastions. 9 out of 10 times it is best to just provide a shield for your teammates to cower behind. It may be necessary to earth shatter the bastions. Tracer should always be pulse bombing bastions as quickly as possible. These are an even higher priority than the other bastions. They can even one-shot on legendary. Luckily, like your Reaper, they usually rush in alone. Unlike your Reaper, however, they are still to be taken seriously. With smart ult usage you guys should clear this section with ease. As a quick note, some people cheat their way through this section. If you do this, I don't hate you. I'm just saying that I would unplug your life support to charge my phone. Now we have the final section. This is where resolve is tested. This is where victory is earned or defeat is swallowed. This is where Urine charges in alone and gets mowed down by a bastion. This is where Torb decides that he's meant to be a tank. This is where Mercy realizes she was always meant to be a DPS and tries to 1v7 an Eradicator, 5 gunners, and a bastion. This is the building of broken dreams. Right off the bat I will need to introduce you to our final foe, Orisa. She is exactly the same as she is in multiplayer. The main difference is that she's harder to kill than my crippling addiction to snorting Dorito dust. Her halt ability is even more annoying in this mode. She may not be able to rope you off the edge, but she can and will drag you out in front of the bastions. The only way to kill her is to have everyone other than Mercy shoot her. Mercy should either be healing or damage boosting Tracer. Though Orisa's headbox was made smaller, it simply went from risky Rob's ego to a large planetary body. Exploit this. Go for that sweet and spicy bonus damage. The most important thing to do in this section is to take it slow. Many a times my team has made it to the final section only to wipe because our Tracer decided to rush in alone and die. I'm not going to lie. This is me sometimes. If you are a Tracer, be smart. Choose your battles. It often works to have Ryan give cover for Torb to set up a turret. If he can get it up, something he's had trouble with for years, then a well-placed molten core can provide some nice cover. Keep in mind that Mercy should almost never be reviving. She should generally be a safe distance away, pocketing the brave soul that is risking their life for Tracers. Be warned that tank bastions can and will spawn behind you in this section. As long as your team advances slowly and carefully, with deliberate ult usage and tactical precision, victory is more assured than World War III. Have fun with the easy loot boxes. Now if you want to know how to beat it with any hero, the answer is simple. Step 1. Pick Bastion. Step 2. You're done. Thank you for watching. If you think the MLG voice is cancer, be sure to leave an angry comment. If you hate yourself more than Frank who hates drones, consider subscribing. Thank you. Purple Man out.